All right, ladies and gents. I was just saying here, how many of you frequent the subreddit? Because if you go to Reddit, r/AV2, you probably see some things from time to time. And I got a message from one of my mods because someone made an archery range joke because it was islands, her, T90 once made a mistake, haha. This is a bugged map gen. This was a ranked game. I actually forget the exact elo. Maybe someone can hunt that down for me because I'm dumb. This is a ranked game for my friend, the Viking Urine. Did I pronounce that right? Oh, sorry. Viking Urine? No, I don't know. And anyways, there's no gold. There's no gold. This is a ranked game, and this is red, and there's absolutely zero gold. So, picking Magyars, maybe this is a player who wanted to go for a landing, and a player who won't work with the resources on just their own island. But this poor soul, I'm told this is 900 elo. Okay, this poor soul loads up the game, and there's zero gold. Over here, then, you've got a massive island with, like, everything you would ever want for Link Deleuze here, who's playing as a Japanese. And it'll be an interesting game, guys, because I think the red player was already opening up thinking, I don't like water maps. I'm not good at water maps. I'm not good with the Navy. And so picking Magyars, which is a civ that has very cheap scouts and a good scout rush, might have been thinking of transporting anyways. So at this point, I think red, if they're thinking about it, probably must pick up on the fact there's no gold here. There is still more of the island to explore, though. And then for blue, I mean, you've got a very spacious island. And normally what I'd suggest on islands, and I talk about it all the time in Low the Legends, is send 4 or 5 to wood, add a dock, and then spam fishing ships. Now, one of the best strategies that I would suggest with Japanese is you can actually play very defensive if you wish to on water, because their fishing ships are armored. So you can go for like a corner dock. It does mean you'll have a little less fish, but still, maybe something to think about here. So, guys, there used to be a time back before the definitive edition where bugged maps like this would happen. And it wouldn't happen that frequently, but you can imagine, like, you don't have big dev companies involved in map scripting. Also, back then, map scripting overall was so much worse. Like, we as a community have really learned how to script maps. And for my tournaments and for events, this is not an issue. So I could sit here and I could say, devs, how on earth does this happen? Like, come on, it's 2022. But also at the same time, I don't think this is a frequent issue with islands. And since it's not a frequent issue with islands, I'm going to cut the devs a little bit of slack. Because this is the only time I'd ever seen this in the last 2.5 years. So we'll see what happens. There's a dock here for Link. So now, like, red, I kind of like it because red's got to adapt. Not adapt in the same way that you would normally adapt. But yeah, adapt. And you can tell that red isn't a player who really thrives on water. Maybe a player who likes land maps. Not only because of the Magyars pick, but because of the fact we don't have a dock from red. Now, I'm going to go over it again, just briefly, because I'm trying to teach you guys as well as entertain. Your TC, if you're red, is the only building. That is an eco building that can add more economy for you. If you are blue, you now have the TC, and you now have the dock. So, what's going to happen is, you're going to have more economy working because you have docked. Docking in the Dark Age on these types of maps is really crucial, really important. But most likely, red is not a player who really loaded up the game today to play islands. You can make arguments for or against it. Some people say, I think it's really bad that you don't have a choice in what you play all the time. You're forced to play other things. But to be honest with you, even though I'm someone who might want to play the same 2 maps all the time, I will admit, I think the community's better for it. I think the map pool has really given us more variety, and I think it's slowly making everyone slightly better at the game as well. Now, red is probably going to ban islands forever, because guess what? There's no gold. Red's going to be scarred till the end of time. Let's see what red does. What we do know is that red hates straggler trees, because red made a lumber camp for a very efficient wood chopping, and oh god, was that the town bell? That was the town bell. That was red's very creative way of dropping off resources. Okay. And now we have a dock. Okay, so red isn't going to fish, but red is most likely going to transport. And what is blue's approach? Wait a second. So the player who currently has gold and most perfect base and fishing eco, which is incredible, is also going to transport. Oh, God. I'm so excited for this. Now, full disclosure, I haven't actually seen this game. I only saw the Reddit post, and I saw all the comments where people made fun of the archery range island thing. And then I heard briefly that this was worth the watch. So, here's red. Hasn't said anything. Could easily be like, dude, where's my gold? You know, bugged map. Deciding to go to the enemy lands. And here is blue. And you know, Japanese, a good landing civ. If you don't want to focus on water, your fishing ships are going to stay alive for a long time. Even if they do attack it. And I don't think at this elo you really see that anyway. So it's another reason to add fish, people. A blue scouting. Now this is crucial. Blue scouting with a fishing ship. And misses red's transport. And we have the classic, just passing, transports right by each other in the middle. I can't tell if either player noticed that, but I would guess that at this elo, they're really looking at their transports. And not at anything else. And we now have a forward barracks from blue. Something that red cannot see there, but red might notice the scout. And red is now going to add the barracks at home. Now, a little tip for you guys as red shows up. I would always suggest making the barracks at home. Because it's less time wasted. But I guess if you want to go for man-at-arms... okay, I guess if you're going to go for man-at-arms, maybe you need the barracks forward. And that's what blue is going to do here. What? Another barracks? We've got a home barracks and we got a forward barracks? Man, these people love barracks. Okay. And blue's scout has definitely shown himself here. And from what red could see, red doesn't see much beyond that scout. And now the villagers are off and moving to the side as this villager is tasked with chasing down the scout. Now, blue has also... What the... Guys, make an archery range. I don't mean to open myself up for more archery range on neutral island jokes. But they both have defensive barracks. Crazy. I was not expecting that. And if you've ever watched... landings on islands, it just gets so crazy. Because you've got to attack, but then you've also got to defend. Like, this is nuts. And I think the man-at-arms, the faster attacking Japanese man-at-arms, is going to do wonders here. Also, full credit to blue. Blue, still creating vills out of the TC. Also going to task some of the eco over here to the deer. So really thinking strongly about certain things to do. And poor red started the game with no gold. And now is making some spearmen for whatever reason. But we'll go in for the attack here, and I think there's a very good chance that blue will also over or underreact here. As a villager goes down, it should be another villager down. Magyars get the melee attack upgrades for free. The scout and spearmen benefit from that. Meanwhile, we had a tower here. Tower is one of the last things you ever want to do against man-at-arms. But red is also trying to fight this off. A good job from blue to stay in the minimum range of the tower. Blue's played this really well. Red, obviously, you know, a lot up against him here. But man-at-arms cost gold, so I don't think after the man-at-arms upgrade, red can really do anything. But blue hasn't even reacted. Blue doesn't even know. I don't even know if red knows, because the scout's not getting involved at all here. They're both just focused here, as we now have the next barracks from blue. Blue loves infantry. The red has no gold. Red now can't take stone. Red now can take berries. Okay, red is going to take this stone. But the TC idle time is insane. And now blue finally notices. And we are going to see more villagers go down. Look at the panic here from our blue player. You can tell, click that thing a bunch. That's a doinker right there. That's going to be another doinker. Man, high value spearman. Scout attack. Starting scout with so many kills. Another villager down. Another reason why you might want fishing ships. Because as you're worried about everything else, Good news is the fishing ships are still working for you. Oh, holy crap. Okay. Now, this is where all the gold is for blue. Red could conceivably turn this into a game with a tower. Where are you going? Where are you going? Villagers. Villagers! Hey, Red, buddy, what you doing? You attacking the dock? That's cool. What about your vills? Okay, just passing. Red runs through. Blue's like, what? And is going to chase that down. But anyways, what you could in theory have done there if you're Red, instead of doing the ring around the rosy, is you could have maybe towered here. And then neither of you have gold. And then the only gold would be out here. Okay. Blue, keep in mind, Blue's got 0 farms. It just pulled villagers off of berries, but is still able to make the men-at-arms. Because the fishing ships are king. And Red says, see ya! Hops into the transport ship, is going to run away. And for whatever reason, these two did not want her in the ship. So she says, peace out, I'm out of here. It's kind of funny, she's doubling back now. This is a crazy game. And we've got another tower from Red. And Blue does have to be careful that they don't make too many men-at-arms against this. Isn't this game amazing? This game is amazing. Here comes Red. Red's like, okay, we're going to sail off to the stone in the center. And I swear to God, like, okay, now we've got, maybe it explains it. Maybe it's a little love connection. I can't tell. Okay, he's standing in the transport. I'm so confused. She's still running around. Blue's still chasing. I mean, if Red just had some gold, Red could maybe make it to Castle Age faster. Here comes the transport for their friend, slash sister, slash mom, slash daughter, slash whoop. Saved. Now, if only you would have found the other neutral island. This is the neutral island you would make the archery ranges on. Really, honestly, really good game. Like, obviously, the execution has fallen apart. But what are the odds that the idle TC time would look the exact same right now? Look at this. Look at this. You could say they're just as good or just as bad at the same token. I love it, though. 900 elo, double landing, towers, man-at-arms, crazy aggression, bugged map. Brings me back to the good old days. But look at Blue, the player with gold, using that gold to buy food. And is now on the way to Castle Age. And still has forward villagers here. Now, we have a tower from Red. Red is very aware that this stone is being taken and isn't a fan. Kudos to Red for not just calling it quits and continuing to fight. And I think if Red rewatches this, Red is going to say, oh, I should maybe dock. Because his fishing ships, even though they're on shore fish, are just bringing in so much food. I wish I had a stat that would tell me how much food these fishing ships brought in. I would guess over 1,000, though. Got from Red. Again, very focused here. Repairing. Might end up working out. Let's actually check. Keep in mind, Red has had farms. Blue hasn't had a single farm, and you can see the difference in the food income just from fish. It is more work early on, but believe me, you can just forget about it later. Blue added a few more fishing ships over here. This is wonderful. This is an incredible game. Now, my guess is the low elo mindset from Blue is going to be castle drop. Castle drop the opponent. This is pretty much getting dealt with. Red wasn't able to make any archers. This is going to be handled. Red is... Oh, wait a second. Red's like, nope. Red's actually making man-at-arms. Okay, so I could be wrong. Okay, another tower now for Red, as we have a forward siege workshop for Blue. Still making man-at-arms. Now, Japanese infantry does attack a little faster starting in castle. But without the longsword upgrade, I still feel like Blue's going to be losing some of these fights. There's a big problem of Red, and we have supplies for Blue. Supplies! These things will be cheaper. I'm looking at Red, and Red is just so terrified of what's to come from the siege workshop. Red is not a fan, and Red is going to make another tower, which leads Blue to hop inside the tower with one of the villagers because he's the smartest, and the other ones join. But honestly, guys, it's possible that if red completes his tower, takes out the ram, not sure about repairing the barracks, that's fine. But it's very possible for red to maybe clean this all up. It's unfortunate that these didn't garrison earlier, but this will also... Okay, it's longsword now. So this should be blue's fight then. Good job from blue to get that. But I mean, if the forward villagers go down and we don't see another transport, you never know what's going to happen here. It's been a messy, messy, messy game. The problem for red is that blue continues to make longswords and blue continues to have the time. Red has not completed this tower. You've just got a bunch of man-at-arms. They're like, rah, take out the siege workshop, rah. And then here come more villagers to finish the tower. A good fight from red here. A good fight from red here. Also like how we haven't seen any excuses from red. Maybe the excuses are yet to come. But certainly felt the need to share it on the subreddit afterwards. I thought it was an interesting share, though. It's not like it was a waha, boo me. Looking over here for blue, I mean, again, it's not like blue's situation is great, but the 8 fishing ships probably more efficient than a few of those farmers there for red. And the position, you being able to control the game, frustrate the opposition, and the opposition has no gold is huge. And now he's completely out-teched. Longsword, much stronger than the man-at-arms. And I think maybe the end is near for poor red, who still has stone in the middle. But is now... Oh, and now added fish. Okay. I don't know how long these have been here, but now the fishing ships are going down to the fire galley. I think red might end up calling it quits here. You think blue shared it on the subreddit. Gotcha. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure who shared it, to be honest. But if blue shared it on the subreddit, I'll say thank you for sharing that, because I wouldn't have seen it otherwise. We now have red ringing the great town bell. Which sends everyone into the towers, yes. But when they're in the towers, they're not very useful. Meanwhile, blue is taking out... Oh, 2 for 1. Oh, almost took out both of his own siege weapons. That is a 1 HP ram right there. That now, that now gets killed off. Not again, please. Red, repair the barracks. You'll win the game, because he'll kill his own stuff. Okay. Choo-choo! Here comes the ram now with the longswords. Red may be frustrated, doesn't want to call it. Maybe doesn't understand what's happening here. Oh, I see. Okay, red not very pleased with the situation. I see. Does mention there's no golds. And maybe blue didn't realize that up until this point. Red's like, map doesn't have golds. What are you doing? Yep. Devs, what are you doing? Sorry, I have that little button. I don't get to press it enough. Blue does not respond. Blue responds with violence. Red, you can tell, isn't too pleased. And Red, my suggestion to you would be, you're at a frustrating point in your day. It might not feel like this would be the best solution, but just calling the GG and resigning will actually remove you from the situation completely. And you have a legitimate gripe. You can just start a new game and ban islands, or I don't know what exactly you'd want to do with the rest of your day, but staying here and continuing to stare at the screen and being like, "Rrr." We've been there when we're tilted or frustrated. It's not going to help. Blue still making the long swords. The TC is now down, and I'm actually going to speed up the game because I have absolutely no clue what's going to happen from here, except for... Oh, wow, 10 man-at-arms. Okay. Red says, I'm going to fight on with what little gold I have. Great job from Blue, though, to send the infantry into the rams and then hop out like that. That's really good stuff. Blue showing, I think, that there's definitely a solid amount of experience here. Yes, it got messy, and yes, the execution was slightly questionable in some moments, but it always is at lower elo. And the final words from Red could have been GG, unlucky. Didn't seem to be too happy. But he's not angry at Blue. I think that's the important thing. He's angry at the map, angry at the devs. I hope this won't be a theme going forward. However, I thought that was still an interesting game. I knew that this happened. Like, I knew going into this cast, I knew that one of the players wouldn't have had gold. But what I didn't know was that it was a double landing. It was a double landing. And to be honest, I think if Red, like Red's biggest issue here wasn't the gold. I think Red's biggest issue was other things. Red had a very good offensive Spearman Scout Rush here. And then, I guess, struggled against the Men-at-Arms over here. But still, I mean, not having the gold eliminated options for Red. But I think that Blue was better off when it came to the production of military, but also the fish helped a very, very, helped a very lot. No, just helped a lot there. So the general tips I give you guys all the time on islands, try and get that dock up in Dark Age. When the going gets rough, it'll be better for you. But their link with more wood, more food, more gold. Probably won't be able to get a game that's quite that easy on islands next. It might have spoiled the idea that Link likes to land on islands. But I like it, man. I think 1v1 islands, adding fish, and then sneaking to their base is one of the best things you can do because they're not really going to be focused on water unless you're higher elo.